Good morning and welcome to all for our online physics classes for BSc first semester. Already I will send the syllabus copy for physics semester in our WhatsApp group, and I already explained in first video about the syllabus of physics subject. Here I would like to start first unit, that is conservation laws. In this unit we have for syllabus law of conservation of linear momentum. First, before going to this law of conservation of linear momentum, momentum means what? Momentum means it is the amount of motion present in a body is known as the momentum. And linear momentum means it is amount of motion present in the body with linear velocity, and it is given by the product of linear momentum is given by the product of mass of the particle and velocity of the particle of the system, that is P is equal to mp. This is linear momentum equation. This P is a vector quantity, linear momentum. We can write P bar is equal to mp bar, means linear momentum is product of mass of the particle and velocity of the particle. It is a vector quantity, and SI unit for this linear momentum is kg. Mass is in kg, velocity is meter per second. SI unit for linear momentum is kg meter per second. Next, we go for the statement of law of conservation of linear momentum. Statement: when no external forces acting on the system of several interacting particles, then the total linear momentum of the system is conserved. Means when no external forces acting on the ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆವೆರಲ್ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್. ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ law of conservation of linear momentum. Next, we see how this law of conservation of linear momentum is put. The total linear momentum is taken as the vector sum of individual linear momentum of the particles of the system. Consider one system. It has large number of teeny particles, means small particles having the masses m1, m2 and up to mn, and these particles of masses m1, m2, m3 and so on mn acquires a velocities v1, v2, v3 and so on pn. This m1, m2, m3 and so on mn be the masses of each particles, different particles, and v1, v2, v3 up to vn be the velocity of the each particles of the system. Hence, the total linear momentum is vector sum of the particles of the system. Then total linear momentum is given by p bar is equal to m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar plus up to mn vn bar, where m1, m2 up to mn is the masses of different particles of the system, and v1, v2 up to vn be the velocity of the motion of the different particles of the system. Then this m1 v1 bar is written as the momentum of the first particle that having the mass m1, that is p1 bar. m2 v2 is replaced by p2 bar, and plus this is for third particle p3 bar up to pn bar. this is total linear momentum of the particle is sum of the linear momentum of individual particles. But according to Newton's second law of motion, we have Newton's second law of motion is the rate of change of linear momentum with respect to time is equal to the external applied forces on the system of particle. That is F bar is equal to dp bar by dt. This is Newton's second law of motion, and when according to statement no external forces acting on the system of particles, then F bar external force is 0. Then substitute 0 here. 0 is equal to dp bar by dt. This means the derivative of any dependent variable is 0, then this dependent variable is constant. Means dp by dt 0 are there. This linear momentum is constant. Then p bar is equal to constant. We have p bar is sum of individual linear momentum of the system of particles p1 plus p2 plus p3 up to pn. That's why p bar is equal to p1 plus p2 plus p3 plus up to pn is equal to constant. It means that no external forces acting on the system of several interacting particles, the total linear momentum p bar is conserved. This is the statement and proof of the law of conservation of linear momentum, and we have syllabus only statement. Now we discuss about the center of mass. Center of mass means center of mass of a system is the point that bears as whole mass of the system is concentrated at that point, and all external forces acting on it. This point is known as the center of mass, or in other words, it is a point about which mass of the body is uniformly distributed. ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಂತದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಲ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬಾಡಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನೈತೆ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ, ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಅಂತ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, take this duster. When we apply force on this side, then it move along this direction only one side, and apply force at this side, this move this side, and when we apply the force at the middle ಅಲ್ಲಿ force apply ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it move in the direction of applied force. This point is known as the center of mass point or center of the mass. This is about the definition of center of mass and the example for the center of mass. Now we discuss center of mass of a system of two particles. Let us consider a system of two particles P1 and P2 be the two particles having masses m1 and m2, and r1 bar and r2 bar be the position vector for the particle P1 and P2 respectively. This capital R bar CM is the position vector for center of mass. This is the center of mass point. At this point, the whole mass of this system is concentrated. Then F1 external is the external force applied to the particle P1 and F2 external is external force applied to the particle P2. And this F12 is force exerted by M1 on M2. This is action. And F12 is force exerted by M2 on M1. This is reaction according to Newton's third law of motion. Here, see, let us consider a system of particles and P1 and P2 be the two particles of the system. R1 and R2 be the position vector of the particles P1 and P2. F12 is force exerted by M1 on M2 and F21 is the force exerted by M2 on M1. And according to Newton's third law of motion, what is Newton's third law of motion? For every action there is opposite and reaction. Here F12 is equal but it is in opposite. That's why I take negative. F12 is equal to minus F21 and F12 plus F21 is equal to 0. Means we can take this F21 term on LHS side. Total F12 plus F21 is equal to 0. Take this equation number 1. And according to Newton's second law of motion, that is force is equal to mass into acceleration. For the particle P1, the force is given by F1 is equal to M1 into A1. This A1 is the acceleration and M1 is the mass of the first particle P1. And this is equal to F12 plus F1 external. And for second particle, force F2 is equal to M2A2. This is equal to F21 plus F2 external. Then total resultant force is given by sum of this F1 and F2. That is total resultant force is given by F. F is equal to F1 plus F2. This is equal to F12 plus F1 external plus F21 plus F2 external. We already have F12 plus F21 value is 0. That's why this equation becomes F is equal to F1 external plus F2 external. And this according to Newton's second law of motion, this resultant force is given by the product of the total mass of the system and acceleration of center of mass, that is capital M into A bar Cm. This subscript Cm is represented as the center of mass. This is A bar Cm is acceleration of center of mass. This M A bar Cm is equal to M1 A1 bar plus M2 A2 bar. And M A bar Cm is equal to, this acceleration is derivative of velocity with respect to time. That's why I can write dv1 by dt plus m2 dv2 by dt. And this velocity is the derivative of position vector with respect to time. That's why this M is written as the total mass of the system, that is written as M1 plus M2. Here we consider only two particles P1 and P2. That's why we can write masses of two particles M1 and M2. M1 plus M2 into second derivative of position vector of center of mass d square RCM by dt square is equal to M1 into d square r1 by dt square plus m2 d square r2 by dt square. Here take d square by dt square outside. In bracket we have m1 r1 plus m2 r2, and take this m1 plus m2 on this side. We get denominator term m1 plus m2, and finally we have RCM values. RCM is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 by m1 plus m2. This is the position vector for center of mass, or position vector of center of mass. This is about the center of mass of a system of two particles. Thank you. And next I will explain the expression for position vector and expression for velocity and acceleration force of the center of mass in next class.